We're live. We're live. Friends, if anybody's out there, tonight's topic is monsters, unexplained mystery sites, rapping. This will be another sloppy one, but let's have a good time. What the heck? It's lagging. Space. So, UFOs and trailer parks. Very interesting to me. Have you heard of Bigfoot? Have you heard of Momo? Ape-like creatures. How about the Bogey Creek Monster? I love stuff like that. What about effergens? Only visible from the high ground. That stuff fascinates me. Have you ever heard of unexplained heavy tombstone stories of moving rocks, traveling rocks? You've heard of Loch Ness, but have you heard of Ogopogo? That's at a lake in Canada. That's like Canada's Loch Ness. How about the Dover Demon in Needham, Massachusetts? Let's talk about this stuff tonight, ladies and gentlemen. How about the Denver, is it the Denver Devil? The Pine Barrens? Let us examine some of this stuff tonight, and then yet another semi-prepared rant. I like this stuff. So-called cryptozoology. My mates in England have that channel 4Train. Stuff like is the sky raining with frogs or fish. Let us talk about some of this astounding Fortrania. Have you heard of the Serpent Mounds of Ohio? From the sky, you can see it. It forms an absolutely huge snake. Fantastic. The Legend of Bogey Creek. Let's delve into this stuff tonight. I'm on a rant. Anybody into this stuff? The Serpent Mound, the Great Serpent Mound, is 1,348 feet long, 3-foot high prehistoric effigy mound on a plateau of the Serpent Mound crater along the Ohio Brush Creek in Adams County, Ohio. If you're on your computer now, open up a new window and Google image it. Yeah, I look like the girl in the social justice war. Do not assume. Oh, wow. I'm really doing her good. You know that meme? Don't assume any gender. Or whatever she's mad about. I don't know. Don't assume these effigies aren't real. The Great Serpent Mound. Reported by surveys by Ephraim Square and Edward Davis. In the historic volume Ancient Monuments of the Mississippi Valley. Did it have an astronomical significance? I think it was first drawn in 1890. It has like a tail or whatever. I'll leave stuff in this in the liner notes. Very, very interesting. It's got to do with the equinox and different lunar activity, astronomical events. It is claimed that the year of construction is 1070 AD. Theoretically could have been influenced by two astronomical events, the light from a supernova created by the Crab Nebula in 1054 and the appearance of Halley's Comet in 1066, perhaps. It is pretty much entirely, it's one of these things that's seen best from the air. Okay, so now we're talking about mystical sites and monsters or cryptozoological creatures. Let's move on. Let's move on to Massachusetts. The Dover Demon. Please, viewers, let me get to this. Google this up. Sighted in April 21st and 22nd of 1977 is the so-called Dover Demon. 17-year-old William Bale Bartlett claimed that while driving on April 21st in 1977, he saw a large-eyed creature with tendril-like fingers and glowing eyes on top of a broken stone wall on Farm Street in Dover, Massachusetts. 15-year-old John Baxter reported seeing a similar creature on Miller Hill Road that same evening. The teenagers drew sketches of the alleged creature. Some suggested the creature may have been a fowl or moose calf. Now, the police said it was just a school vacation hoax. But it's definitely in the books. It appears in a comic book series called Proof. Pound and Ghoul's Night Out. There's also a comic book, Stanley and the Dover Monster, or something like that. It's from 1966. So it's a cryptozoology. There's a book about it. I usually read a lot of this crap sometimes. And I guess there's a book that I haven't noticed. The Dover Demon. There's a kind of a common picture they have of like a creature. I might use for this one, but Bill Bartlett says, I swear on a stack of Bibles I saw this creature. 10:32 p.m. on April 21st. Bill Bartlett and Mike Ronzoka and Eddie Brandy. They were driving a Volkswagen, which means they were probably using marijuana. Just slight stereo, but although it's nothing like the Mothman of Point Pleasant. If you haven't seen that movie with Richard Gere, see it. It's just freaking disturbing. Especially, there's another actor in it. I forget his name. It's just as good as him. I have rapped about this before. I apologize. But let's re-enter a discussion of the Dover Demon. They actually made it really quite a spectacular statue of it over there. John Keel's book on the Mothman Prophecies, whether you believe or not, is actually probably worth it, I would say. Me, I don't, I enjoy my stuff to be quote unquote nonfiction. I've just never been for a long time, for a while. I mean, I've read your standard Tolkien. I've read this sort of Shannara, which is now dated, and I like some of that stuff. I kind of got into Lord Fowl's Bane, from a dear friend of mine, now departed, unfortunately. But obviously Philip K. Dick. But I tend to actually like to read these ones that, like Mothman Prophecies by Keel. There is another book by John Keel, which is called The Eighth Tower, which I haven't read Mothman for a long time. Eighth Tower, I say, is even a much more superior book to Mothman. It gives some information as to why people allegedly see or think. I say it's even better than Our Haunted Planet from way back in 1971. The Eighth Tower, 1975, by Keel, is probably his best book and his most freaky book. Back to the Mothman. If you don't know the story, check it out. There's some great films on it on the Amazon. I don't know, I forget if Netflix has anything on Mothman. But it was observed. There's also reports of these so-called, whatever they are, men in black connected to Point Pleasant. They were sighted before that. There's a military facility there. Some people speculate that's a Thunderbird. Some people think that some substances might have got in the water, and people, basically were completely high, kind of like tripping. I think that's involved with the Salem witch scare as well. They get high on some fermented bread, whatever. Anyway, the Eighth Tower, maybe I'll do a rap about that some night. Is there a single intelligent force behind all religions, occult, and UFO phenomena? UFO knots, leprechauns, Loch Ness monsters, Sasquatch, and Satan really belong to another dimension, the creation of the mass mind or the collective unconscious. This is all in the mix. If you take the time to read any of my, check out any of these blog rap sessions, you notice I'll go in a circle, and I don't pin down to one explanation when I talk about this cryptozoological stuff. This Eighth Tower book is a masterpiece regarding this kind of stuff, though. If you don't want to read the whole thing, get it on the Audible. Damn it. So huge effigy mounds are across the country. We now move on to the Mima Mound, or Mima Mounds. They are across the world. Are they made by gophers, or are they Great Pyramids? If do me, if anybody out here who comes across this thing is looking at this blog by mistake somehow, if you have any of these in your area, like Washington State or wherever you are, give me a shout on here, will you? What do you think they are? Are they burial mounds? Are they made by aliens? Are they made by indigenous peoples here? Or the much more controversial thing is that some of them are made by people who came over from Europe long before the recorded settlers, and used these mounds for burial purposes or worship purposes or whatever. The Beaver Mounds are kind of like the crop circles. I think it's under dispute. They're weird. Sorry, I'm only just glazing over these. Somebody give me a shout if you got anything on this stuff. In particular, if you live in a fucking trailer park and you've seen UFOs. My friend and I used to talk about how Bigfoot was attracted to female cows and stuff like that. The ancients built ramparts and fortifications. Trench labyrinths were designed to repel invasions of bad demons and of devils. There's an excellent book that I have read on that. I can't remember the name of it. Are some of these, moving on to my next one, which I will definitely have in the liner notes because I've been there and I've taken numerous films of it. There's a lot of controversy over the so-called American Stonehenge. That is up in Salem, New Hampshire. I highly recommend it. A lot of people say that it's not real, whatever. I think it is real. I think it is what the gentleman who's written several books there, and the guys that work there, they have excellent films on it. I think it's as old as they say. I think it is similar to structures that are similar to Stonehenge that are old. And I think it is what it is. It's been accused of being like a farmer there, whatever. I don't think so. In fact, and it's, for my 2 cents, it's got a lot of energy around it. There's a hill up above it. I think unfortunately some people vandalized it over the years and stuff like that. I will be leaving in the liner notes my films of it. Of course, it is. It is, of course, a H.P. Lovecraft site. And whenever I can, whenever I go by a Lovecraft site, I try to indicate that it is from his books. Atop Sentinel Hill in the Dunwich Horror, one of his better works, one of his excellent works. My favorite is Charles Dexter Ward, but that one is good. Give me a shout in the line if I do these things too long. I'm new to the streaming stuff, so I don't believe the detractors of it. I believe it is what it is. Pre-Columbian European launch.